Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Feature Friday. This week we're going to be talking about a collection of products that's been out in the market for a little bit. It's seen some evolution, it's seen some growth, some new additions, some edits, some tweaks, and that's the Milwaukee PACKOUT series. So the Milwaukee PACKOUT is essentially the perfect tool transport, organizer, and storage modular system for taking all your tools and equipment with you when you're on the go. It has good water resistant ratings, and we're going to get into that in the specifics for the different models because it does depend on what you're stacking, but it does have some organizers. Like we said, it has some different kind of models. You got your tool bags and stuff like that that can latch onto this. Everything clicks in, everything is solid. It's a great system. So let's get into a couple of the basics here, and then we're going to also give some shout outs to a couple of people that are showing some really interesting things that you can go ahead and do with these kits, the different third-party accessories that you can add on to it. All right, so to kick things off, we're going to talk about the rolling toolbox, and then we're going to move on to just the standard toolbox that we have over here. So when it comes to the rolling toolbox, obviously you have your metal reinforced locking points. So those are going to be these guys over here. And those are ideal, obviously, just to keep everything locked nice and tight. High quality, obviously we're using metal. We're not using all plastic parts, but the plastic they are using is very heavy duty reinforced. Now, the lift lid, it does click open and it actually does not need to be held down. And that's actually a wonderful feature because you're not gonna have to kind of hunch yourself over and hold on to it the whole time. So that is something that keeps it nice and open. You can get access to all your equipment and then you can just kind of give it a little bit of a push and it locks right back up. So it is heavy duty, like we said, fantastic the way that it works. Now, in terms of the corner pieces here, these are the nice reinforced pieces that you're gonna see. This is actually something that we can give a lot of credit to on the structure of the PACKOUT kits. It's just because when you go on some videos online, and believe me, folks, you will find plenty of people throwing these off trucks, throwing these off a rooftop. These are the corners that you'll often see are gonna get nice and banged up and scratched up, but the rest of the kit holds strong. And that's definitely something that you want out of a heavy duty kit, especially if it's marketed that way. That's what you want to expect. Now, there is technically an organization tray that comes inside of this kit. You do get the one basic one. It's not a whole heck of a lot, and that's going to be one thing you're going to find a lot of feedback online for, that we are going to get into some of the online feedback that you're going to see on these and some of our customer feedback, which is sometimes it'd be nice to have a little more. Now, that being said, it is a large box, and so for some folks, it is convenient to just throw some tools in here loosely, not have to worry about organizing it too much, but there are some people out there that are really big into organization and having all sorts of different options. So when you get a big kit that's like this, that's just a big open chest, you're gonna feel a little limited in terms of some of those solutions, but like we said earlier, there are a lot of third-party options that you may find, and Milwaukee is constantly updating and adding to this product line. So we do have some confidence behind what they can do next. Now, one of the major features of the rolling toolbox in general is going to be its IP65 rating for the water resistance. Now again, when tested with some liquid, you'll notice obviously there's definitely some big pockets and grooves up here that can kind of pocket some water. One of the things that's typically recommended is that if you're gonna have this thing sealed shut and you're gonna have some water going to the top, you're gonna just likely wanna just give it a light tipping. Even just rolling the toolbox naturally in its formation backwards, you're gonna have some of the water do a fall off. Now that being said, when you do open up the main toolbox chest here, there is going to be some openings here that you can see some light shining through. Now, if you do have a lot of water pooled up here, that is one of the areas where there's been some feedback provided, is that you will get some drippings that can come through. Now, obviously a little bit of drippage, not a huge issue, especially if you got some batteries and some electronics in here, which is likely what you're going to see. But if you're going to have a whole lot of water pooled up and you forget to do a kind of a wipe or a bit of a drain out ahead of time, and you open this thing right up in a hurry, you may find yourself getting a lot more water in here than you would have liked. But that being said, the seal itself and the IP65 rating does hold true. If you were to have this thing sitting out in the rain and you were to dry it off a little bit and then open it up, everything on the inside is going to be secured. If you had documents in here, tools, you're going to be able to sleep nice and sound knowing that everything's all good inside the box. Now, another area that is advertised as heavy duty that we've seen a little bit of some feedback on are the all-terrain wheels. Now, Milwaukee has claimed generally that they've done some updates on this, so it is one of those areas we're going to see going forward in the future if there's going to be continuous feedback on it. The all-terrain wheels, generally speaking, are meant to be heavy duty, so you can wheel around rugged, job sites, rugged areas, parking lots, those types of things. So, I mean, ideally, these are gonna be holding fast and true. However, there has been some feedback in the past that we've seen some people say that these tend to kind of have some issues and get wobbly or kind of break down, crack over the long run. Again, Milwaukee has given us the feedback that has been addressed over time because they did take that customer feedback and they took it to heart and they decided to do something about it. So like we said, it's a constantly evolving system, so we definitely want to give them credit for having some feedback listened to and acted upon. So that's always nice to see. Now, for those of you who are all fans of the Milwaukee Tick, we know there are some of you out there that are, big into that system and have the app and everything. There is a mounting location inside the lid here where you can kind of screw your Tick into there if you wanted to have it nice and secured and want to use the tracking system. Another aspect of security that's always nice to get inside of one of these systems outside of the tracking module is going to be, an opening here so that you can actually put a lock in here. Padlock or otherwise, it does have it ready to go, and you're also going to find that in the standard toolbox here. So next we're going to talk about another one that's quite popular, and that is the PACKOUT organizer. So these are the ones that have the clear top to them, so easy identification. There's different configuration. You can get the large full organizer. This is one of the mini ones that we have here quickly showing. Obviously this is, again, part of how everything is so modular, because now you got an open spot on the other side here. So if you wanted to quickly kind of throw on a cooler bag or a toolkit or anything like that, you definitely have some options for how you can kind of customize all that stuff the way that it comes about. Now, within the organizer here, you definitely get a couple of different slots, which is nice. So the standard that you're gonna see is going to be 4 small and 1 large cubby. Again, there's all sorts of different kind of things that you can, configurations you can set up for this stuff. You can also get foam inserts for these, and we'll talk about a little bit more of the customization stuff down the road, but there's, again, plenty of options, plenty of ways that you can kind of do some modifications. You even get some tray dividers that come into the packaging if you want to insert some of those just to kind of do some micro organizing. And of course, you still have your seal inside of the nice clear top, and that's for that IP65 rating. Now, one of the areas of constructive feedback that we've seen in general is that these latches here are not deemed quite as heavy duty as the latches you're going to find on the primary toolbox kits. Now, I would agree they don't quite have the same snap to them, but again, it's one of those areas where Milwaukee continues to kind of show areas of improvement where they address some of these issues and say that they've done some redesign. So as far as we've heard, these are pretty good to go. But of course, we're just out here kind of monitoring what the customer feedback is. Now, the main center slot is obviously going to be what you're looking to use to kind of organize, blades, longer bits, and then you've got all the different kind of screws and smaller bits that you can kind of fit inside the small organizers. So definitely ready for use for multiple kind of purposes, the way that you want to use it. All right, so the last thing that we're going to talk about, guys, is going to be some of the bags that you can throw on here. This is a fun component of it because, again, now we're getting into less of the toolkit type of content. We're getting into some of the tool bags and getting into some of the totes that you can kind of really mix and match. They also have crates that you can throw on here, but these are the fun extras that you can kind of toss on. Are going to be the bags, and again, they still have the same system. You basically kind of reach in, push out, and it basically unhooks. Again, all heavy duty build, the way that it's set up, all nice click and lock in. So it is part of what makes the system so interesting. Again, generally speaking though, there's always a little bit of that customer feedback. So what we've heard again for the tool bag here is that some people feel like there's not much internal organization, although there are some holes and pockets on the other side. And then generally some people say that some of the pocketing and stuff like that aren't quite deep enough depending on the tool. We're gonna say that that's feedback that's really kind of case to case dependent. We do know a lot of our customers are really happy with what Milwaukee has produced here. So we're gonna go ahead and defend a little bit, saying that, like, yes, it is built for heavy duty. Yes, we know some customer expectation are gonna be that they can fit the biggest tools in these different kind of bags and utilities. But at the end of the day, we feel like it has to be something fairly reasonable in the size and the weight and all those kind of design factors. But you know what, Milwaukee being who they are likely going to do some revisions of these products if the customer feedback warrants it. So we're always gonna keep an eye out open for these kind of different updates that they will do to the product line. Now, one of the things you're gonna wanna clue yourself into is gonna be some of the different third-party components that you can get into. Now, we at Mackmore, we don't sell any of that stuff. We work directly with Milwaukee. We sell the Milwaukee solution. However, we will say that if you're interested in exploring what's out there in the market, the things that people have taken from the baseline, in terms of taking these designs, of the feet and kind of creating different kind of custom solutions for how you can attach all sorts of things like cup holders, battery holders, all sorts of fun things. Milwaukee, I'm sure eventually will come out with some of their own versions. But for the time being, if you really want to explore some of that third-party market, we say, you know, feel free to take a look at it. It is pretty amazing what's out there, what you can find. We are gonna link a couple of YouTubers that we think do some pretty fantastic reviews on these products. So if you're looking to dive into the whole PACKOUT system a lot more intensely and do some comparisons to some other products, we are gonna say, please take a look at this stuff, explore it, and see how much you can do with it. And if it's something that interests you, by all means, reach out to us, let us know. We do carry a bunch of the PACKOUT kind of systems, as you can see. We'd love to get you started with your PACKOUT adventure. And then if you want to take it from there and explore into so many more areas and enjoy it to its full potential, please do. We'd love to be a part of that. We'd love to help you guys out. So just reach out to us whenever you have any questions about it. We do have a resident tool specialist here at Mackmore, so I know that gentleman would be more than happy to work with you guys on your projects or your ideas for outfitting your business with these types of solutions. So that's the video, folks. That's Milwaukee PACKOUT series. Again, thank you very much for checking it out. We always appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys have any feedback for the videos, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next week. Cheers.